Good evening and welcome to Scary Story Hour, where every story ends in a scream. This evening's tale will be about a young girl named Amelia meeting the Grim Reaper. Our story begins with young Amelia sleeping, having wonderful dreams, when suddenly her dream turns into a nightmare and she awakes with a fright. She's very scared, and once she calms down from her nightmare, she realizes it's over and she's awake. She tries to go back to sleep before she notices that a mysterious, dark, hooded figure is standing at the foot of her bed. She notices he's carrying a scythe, one of those things they use to cut down wheat. She looks at him in his glowing red eyes, and suddenly he speaks. He says, "I have come for your soul, Amelia." He raises his scythe as if he's going to chop off her head. Instead, he swings it over her head and she disappears into the mysterious dark forest with him. She doesn't know where she is. He tells her to run, so she does. She's running and running through this forest. She has no idea where she is, and it's pitch black. She stumbles over the tree roots. She hears things like frogs and owls and wolves in the distance. She keeps running until she stumbles upon a graveyard. She looks at the gravestones. She doesn't recognize any of the names. As slowly she approaches a open grave. There's just a hole in the ground, and the gravestone has her name on it. The Grim Reaper is behind her again. And he says, "I have a test for you, Amelia, and if you pass this test, you may go free and continue on with your life. However, if you fail, you must stay with me in this graveyard forever." The Grim Reaper claps his hands and he disappears into a puff of smoke, and Amelia's vision becomes very fuzzy, and she becomes disoriented and doesn't know where she is. At this time, she's no longer in the graveyard. Now she's in a mansion she's never seen before. It's dark and mysterious and old. It seems to be abandoned. Cobwebs are gathered in the corners. All the furniture has a layer of dust over it. The Grim Reaper reappears in a puff of smoke again. "I have hidden my scythe somewhere in the house. You must find it in 30 minutes, or else you will be staying with me forever." Amelia begins running through the house. She first checks the kitchen. His scythe is nowhere to be seen. She runs back out to the main room where she first started, and but she realizes this isn't the same room. She goes back to look into the kitchen, and the kitchen's no longer there. It's turned into a bathroom. She's very confused. The rooms change. Now she's got to figure out how to navigate this house without getting lost. She turns into a room. She sees it's a child's room. It's her room, actually. She begins to look everywhere she can. Under the bed, in her closet, in her desk, in her bedside nightstand. The scythe isn't in there either. She makes her way down to the basement. The basement is even weirder than the rest of the house. In the basement, there's a pot full of boiling water, and over it is a skeleton. Above the fireplace is a picture of a farmer and his wife. The farmer is holding a scythe. But suddenly she realizes the painting is also moving. The farmer holding the scythe realizes that she sees this, and suddenly begins running backwards, away from the front of the painting. She grabs a stool in the corner of the room, sets it in front of the fireplace, climbs up on the mantel, and jumps in the painting, and she's chasing the farmer. As Amelia's running, she spots something shiny at the corner of her eye. It's a sword. She runs over and gets the sword. She finally catches up with the farmer. She checks her watch and she realizes that she only has a minute to get the scythe, or else she's stuck with the Grim Reaper forever. Amelia throws her sword and it lands, stabbing the farmer in the back. He falls over and drops the scythe. Amelia runs over and picks it up. Suddenly, everything around her is swirling and she appears back in the graveyard again. The Grim Reaper appears in a puff of smoke. "Very well, Amelia. You passed the test, and I will keep my word. You may go back. Be warned, one day you will join me."